Welcome to the channel about news from around the world. While you subscribe and like it, we're going to start.
In the soft underbelly of America, where tranquility and total obedience to the rules of the hegemon has always reigned, it suddenly became sick. In the usual American pattern, they took tests which showed that the disease was badly neglected and had already entered the chronic stage. The colic started in Brazil. The anti-American course can clearly be seen in the current policy of this South American country. It is the leader in every respect of its continent, and the behavior of almost every country in the region depends on its opinion. Brazil, on the other hand, pursues its own policies, and its aims are very different from those of the hegemon. It actively participates in the BRICS, and it is even more active in challenging the global community to create a multipolar world and to counteract the monopoly of the dollar. Brazil's position is very much in line with the course pursued by Russia and China. This is what Kirby pointed out in his speech. Brazil retails Russian and Chinese propaganda like a parrot. You have to agree that the rhetoric is totally inappropriate for relations between two close countries. It is rather pejorative and arrogant. What normal ruler would tolerate such a thing? Lula da Silva has answered. And the answer hit all the sore points of the United States at once. The American belly is stabbed in all places at once. 5 main points I want to highlight. Brazil has started its game on the currency front against the dominance of the American currency. Lula da Silva's rantings on the subject are loud and impressive. The first thing they have done is to involve their neighbors Argentina in the process. Together they are creating a single currency, the SOR. They plan to construct a system of mutual payments between the two countries, and then to connect all other Latin American nations to this system and currency. In this way, America is in danger of losing its influence in all of South America. The dollar will be excluded from wide circulation there. Incidentally, Brazil in BRICS is also a promoter of the idea of a single supranational currency that could displace the dollar from world markets. The replacement is long overdue, the whole world needs it. The next step in the attack on dollar hegemony was the Brazilian president's trip to China in April, where he held talks with his counterpart Xi Jinping. In addition to strengthening cooperation, the main issues on the agenda were the creation of a single currency. Judging by the reactions of both leaders, the talks were a success. Within BRICS, settlements in national currencies are already becoming the norm. Considering that the GDP of the BRICS surpassed the combined GDP of the G7 countries, we can consider that the dollar and America itself are being dealt a significant defeat in this regard as well. Then Lula da Silva loudly declared that he condemns the anti-Russian sanctions. He is not going to support them. Moreover, according to the president of Brazil, the recognition of Crimea as Russian by European countries would help to resolve the conflict with Russia. Can you imagine their eyes at that? Continuing his relentless attempts to organize the trade space in South America under new trade rules, Lula da Silva immediately supported the wish of the Venezuelan president to join BRICS. Now that's quite a crisis situation. Not only does he go against all anti-Russian sanctions, but he also opens all closed doors to Venezuela, which the US intends to break and take its oil reserves for itself. And if the BRICS rules come in there, all plans are over. Brazil seems to be enjoying the US's ways against the US. America's enemy becomes Brazil's friend. Otherwise it is impossible to explain Lula da Silva's eagerness to join forces with the sworn enemy of the US. For so many years America has made life unbearable for Iran, trying to bend the proud Persians to its will, and as a result Iran has dominated the Middle East, even Saudi Arabia has made peace with it. And now Brazil is partnering with Iran. But even worse, Brazil has allowed Iranian warships to call at its ports. That is, economic pressure has already been followed by a military presence near American borders. So American pressure on Iran is becoming quite insecure. Iran already has hypersonic weapons, but the US does not. No one knows for sure what is going on with the nuclear program. So, if the US threatens the security of Iranian territory, they can mess up America's territory in a big way. So now the Brazilian carnival is marching victoriously across the planet and defeating America's trifling principles of life by a landslide. Beautiful game. Godspeed.
Thank you for watching. If you're interested, subscribe and leave a comment.